Another season, another set of anime, another top 10 video. So summer 2014 is coming to an end. Of course the anime season, not the weather season, that never started here. And that means it's time to order them from worst to not so worst. Let's quickly remind ourselves of the rules to this exciting game. There will be no sequels or prequels, just new shows. And they all have to start this season, but their length does not matter. Also, just because this is a top 10 list, doesn't mean I'm inclined to say something positive about the show. Now, is everybody sitting comfortably? Good, let's start. Glasslip really needs an acquired taste, a taste that I do not own. Nothing really happens for most of the show. It's all about character relations, but the characters are very generic and the relations are just dull. I would only recommend this to people who like light drama shows. Majimoji Rurumo has an interesting premise, but don't expect anything serious from it. It's a comedy show about a high schooler who finds a witch, who's also a high schooler. The comedy is very standard for an anime and just barely produces some light entertainment. This might be enjoyable for the casual fan, but doesn't offer anything major in any departments. Aldnoah.Zero wins the award for worst execution of the best premise. They decided on a classic 80s space opera story, where two factions fight for their political beliefs, warming my heart as it reminds me of my beloved galactic heroes. Anyway, Genrobuchi rubs his amateur nose all over this and makes it possibly one of the most boring and poorly executed shows as of late. There are so many characters that after 3 or 4 episodes I was still unsure who was who and who was on what side. The original story was abandoned and we focused completely on meaningless battles that involve 3 or 4 horribly animated mechs at once. They should have focused on the massive space war that should have been happening above their heads. What a disappointment. But hey, it's Urobuchi, that's what he's good at. Tokyo ESP was surprisingly unique. It follows a very western superhero route while sticking tightly to the normal anime tropes. It has moments of really enjoyable storytelling and action, but fails to break away from the genericness Japan seems to love. If you like more quirky superhero stuff like Scott Pilgrim, you might like this, but it's by no means a revelation from anime like this. Akame Ga Kill piqued my interest to begin with, as a more mature show with shonen features, much like Full Metal Alchemist. But these interests were quickly shooed away by this show's lack of ambition and ability to take itself even remotely seriously. There's an unnatural balance of weird comedy and poorly written serious moments. The characters are the epitome of genericness, and the story follows a similar description. You might like this if you're 11 years old. Tokyo Ghoul was again something that piqued my interest. I thought, Japan? Are you actually going to make a serious horror? Well, unfortunately not. T-Ghoul fails to act scary or even gory, but does manage to be slightly entertaining. The horror and gore attempts don't actually get in the way too much. This show is extremely generic in almost every department and really offers nothing new or unique, but it does somehow end up being an okay watch, but nothing more than that. Haru Ride is the classic romance of the season. There's no weird Japanese fetishes, and no exaggerated body features. Haru Ride offers an interesting handful of characters with a well-written romance. The art style is nice and the show is very easy to watch. Definitely something to look forward to each week. Zankyou No Terror was easily sitting at the number 1 spot for its opening 4 episodes or so. It was smart, intriguing, and had me wanting more. Until they confusingly changed the direction of the show. It went from 2 mysterious supervillains using their extreme genius to pull off terrorist attacks, to the same 2 people trying to stop bombs by running around like idiots. The show completely contradicted itself by suggesting the characters didn't want to kill anyone after blowing up 2 massive, crowded buildings just a few episodes prior. And for anyone who says that no one died in the first few episodes, well, that's just silly writing. They could not have blown up 2 skyscrapers without killing people. It becomes very unrealistic and quite disappointing. Not to mention it has one of the worst character designs for a villain I've seen in a long time. It's still one of the better shows this season, so give it a watch if you can see past the plot holes. Barakamon really took me by surprise. On paper it looks like a slice of life anime where nothing really happens. It's true that it might not be the most eventful show, but it's so much more than your average slice of life. It tells a unique story about our main character trying to find his own purpose. We're not given a useless character whose only purpose is to flirt with a harem of girls. We're given a main character who almost reluctantly has to open himself up to new people in order to fix his own life. It's a very well written show and one that I'll recommend for a long time. Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun is easily one of the best comedies to come out of Japan in the last year or so. It doesn't follow the generic route of being random, it actually offers some witty and satirical comedy. It pokes fun at the anime and manga industry and its fanbase. It doesn't look unique, but that's part of why it's good. It is a very unique and smart comedy that can guarantee enjoyment. It is rare to get good comedies from anime, so I'm glad we got something like this. Overall, this season was much better than last season, but it failed to bring more than 1 or 2 memorable shows. After the season ends, I doubt anything here, with the exception of a couple, will be kept around. Most of these shows will most likely drop to the depths of the 5 out of 10 and 6 out of 10 sections of my list, forgotten forever. Hopefully next season will offer us something cool. Please do tell me your favourite shows from this season in the comments. And of course remember to click the like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you want to watch more videos. Thank you for watching.